Good evening, KP Heathen, and welcome to Coffee Talk. Greetings, my friend from Louisiana. Hope you had a good day. Yep. Tacos, yep. I like to eat tacos. CR, welcome. Creative Redundancy. I hope you're having a wonderful new year. Well, I had been threatening that I was going to start a little series called Taco Talk News that I would do periodically for a few minutes. It'd be short, under 5 minutes, little news segments, my take on the news. And being off on vacation, Uncle Al died Bullfrog 79. And being off on vacation for the last 2 weeks, I picked right towards the end to do an episode. Enrique Trevino, welcome. Mm. 5 in the house, 3 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. What's today's topic? Oh, I thought I'd talk a little bit about my channel or actually my news, uh, Taco Talk News. I did a first episode, 4 minutes long, of my take of what's currently going on in the news. I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. Utah Mike, hello, Utah Mike. I thought I would talk a little bit about the need for water and food to be prepping and to be stacking clean drinking water and food. It may be difficult to get it in the near future, and it's something that everybody needs in order to live. I thought I'd talk about that a little bit. Um, yeah, tacos are good. I have a lot of shelf stable tortillas, and I have a lot of the fixings, like freeze dried eggs and freeze dried uh, hash browns, shredded potatoes, meat, sausage, you know, different types of. I can do some serious cheese. I can do some serious, uh, you know, Tiawaki tacos. If you want to call it that, the end of the world should know it. Um, it's in the 50s. It's in the 50s today. Got up to about 62 here. So I guess it'll get cold. Next this coming week, it's supposed to be overnight. It'll be in the upper 30s. That's cold. I don't know that we're going to have a freeze, but we tend to have a few freezes, over the wintertime. Hello, Holly Ivans. Welcome. So, 6 in the house and 6 likes. So let me get down to the Taco Talk news. Uh, things happen in the news, and I tend to mention them. I'm always being told by Uncle Al, check your sources, make sure you're using reliable sources for your news. And oftentimes I'll Google, um, or I'll use sources like print sources or sources that are internet print type sources from newspapers and such. Um, the election that we got through with in November. We've been waiting for the new administration to take office, and as we wait for the new administration to take office, we start thinking about, what would the changes be? They're already talking about changes. I'm thinking that from what I'm hearing on the news and different vloggers and such, and Fox and News Nation and various sources that I look at, um, Donald Trump is going to be basically fixated on dealing with Canada, Mexico, and China. And one of the things he's going to do to get them to play ball with him is he's going to put tariffs on. He's already talking about 25% tariffs. And in order for them to forego tariffs, they have to get on the ball with one, securing their borders so that illegals are not crossing from their country into our country, dealing with drug problems, drug dealers, coming across their borders into our country. And then with China, one of the things he's concerned about is that China has been basically making the components for fentanyl, reportedly, and that people are buying those components, or they're shipping the components over, and then people are using the components to make fentanyl, which reportedly has killed 100,000 Americans over the period of the last couple of years. And this is stuff that I consistently get from the news, so I'm not making this up out of thin air. So when I did my Taco Talk news this morning, and I had a taco, and I drank coffee, and I talked for about 4 minutes about what I was going to be doing, and what I see happening. Hello, Mama Four Boys. Welcome, Mama Four Boys. I basically was setting a first episode of, and this is stuff that you get in the news. This is not something that I'm revealing for the first time. This is just my take on it. January the 6th, which is Monday, this upcoming Monday, they're going to certify the election. It's a formality. Kamala Harris has to, basically, as vice president, she basically has to oversee ceremoniously oversee that. And one of the concerns that they had was, in order for everything to go through, they have to have a Speaker of the House, and will Mike Johnson be confirmed as Speaker of the House? And he cannot afford to lose any. He can afford to lose like one vote right now in order to be confirmed as a speaker for the coming session. And there are people who are upset with him because of the situation with him working a little bit too well with the Democrats, giving in to them on some of their demands and such, that people feel like they shouldn't be doing that because of just all this spending that they're doing. Idaho Garden Girl, welcome, Idaho Garden Girl. So the Republicans have picked up 4 seats, I believe, in the Senate. They're 53 seats. So they've got a little bit of they've done a little bit of a pickup there. But they really did not pick up any seats in the House. They exchanged some seats. And it's very tight, very tight. So there's a lot of concern over that, getting the president's agenda through. I mentioned that this morning. And then the other thing I mentioned, which was real big in the news, is this incident that happened in New Orleans, in Bourbon Street. Somebody drove a vehicle through a crowd, killing, the last count I had was 15, according to the news, 15 killed and 30 seriously injured. There may be some more people who pass away from this serious incident. It was a terrorist attack. It was a U.S. citizen, former military. I guess he'd served in the army. He had made some posts supporting ISIS, reportedly. He reportedly was flying an ISIS flag from the vehicle. And he ran through a crowd. He bypassed a police unit, went up onto the sidewalk, ran through a crowd, injuring a bunch of people. When he stopped, he got into a gunfight with law enforcement. He shot 2 police officers. They killed him. And that's what I know about the situation. Reportedly, it's been classified as a terrorist attack. And they're concerned about security. They're concerned about security. And that's been reported in the news. I'm basically repeating what I've listened to some of the interviews, like one of the senators from Louisiana did a long, drawn out, listen to what he had to say, which is basically reporting what I'm telling you right now. Enrique Trevino, how are you doing, Enrique? Apparently he was Houston. Reportedly lived in Houston. They've already searched his place. Yeah, I can imagine. Pre-retirement days, how are you doing? Welcome. So Uncle Al is always on me. You got to put out 2 videos a week. And if I'm going to put out 2 videos a week, and normally when I put out stuff, I'll put out a box. Like I received a box, which I don't that often. I received a box, I'll do an unboxing, or I send a box. I do a few more of those. That's normally videos I put out. Sometimes I put out a video on something that I purchased that I recommend. But if I'm going to try to put out at least 1 or 2 videos a week, then it will probably be something like my Taco Talk News, where I give my take on major things that are going on. And I will keep them to under 5 minutes. Sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 minutes, and I won't always you won't always see the first minute of me basically talking about the taco that I bought and the coffee I'm drinking. It may just be directly to, and then Uncle Al says I need to do a better thumbnail, and my thumbnails are sort of like the thumbnails for my live streams. Whatever I'm wearing, I normally take a picture, and then I upload it as a thumbnail. And that's, I'm not doing a lot of graphic stuff. I did put a little graphics to basically stating that, Taco Talk News, the date, David Lynn. I did put that at the beginning of my my little video that I did. What if Harris calls in sick? It'll still go on. Somebody would take her place to do it. 8 watching and 10 likes. Little Lone Prepper. Hello, Little Lone Prepper. Little Lone Prepper, please let me know when you get your box. I need to start working on, and it'll be a video. I need to start working on the box for Devil Dog Prepper. He'll be the next person to get a box. And then the one after that will be, God almighty, I'm horrible. The lady's name, Buying Space. Yes. Uncle Al says I've got, what did he say I had? He mentioned me in a video. He did a little shout out, mentioned me in a video. He talked about my mind. I'm losing my mind. And then he's concerned about, that I'm teaching kids, because I reminisce. And that's one of those signs of, you're losing your minds because you reminisce. Well, I reminisce because my best days are behind me. My fondest memories of my youth are behind me. The people I cared most about are behind me. I was a change in life older. Here I'm reminiscing, but I want you to understand this. I grew up with people who were from the great generation, the World War II generation. They grew up, they fought World War II. They lived through it. They lived through the Depression. And by the time I was up 20 some odd years old, most of them were gone. I didn't know my grandparents. They were all past me. Great grandparents are all past me. My father passed away when I was 14. He was born in 1913. He told me, I remember all the stories he told me about his youth and about things that he experienced and how he grew up, and they were affluent. But then they didn't have the technology we have today. You got your box? Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm glad you did, and I hope you enjoy it. But no, Uncle Al, he did shout out to me. He did a video. It was about 8 minutes long. And I always appreciate, when he does that. I watched it, and I did a little timestamp, like 7 minutes and 59 seconds, and it was an 8-minute video. So, and he was talking about, the need to prep, the need to stock and stack lots of water, lots of food items. There may be difficulty trying to find food, acquire food in the foreseeable future, in the near future. You never know. There could be some disruptions with the new administration taking office. It could disrupt some stuff. You never know. It'd be an interesting time for somebody with evil intentions to do something. You never know. Hopefully not, probably not, but, be prepared. What if? What if? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Buying Space, hello. I just mentioned you. So, if you have not hit the bell icon so you receive notifications, I put out 2, sometimes 3 shorts a day. According to powers that be, the algorithm likes you to put out 6 a day. Recently I put out 4. I still have stuff from the wedding to put out. I have several shorts that I'll put out from when we were at Buc-ee's, which is just a wonderful establishment. Just all the different stuff you can buy there. I will plan on trying to do another live stream tomorrow. I'm off on vacation right now, so while I'm off on vacation for the next 3 days after tonight, I will try to put out a 7 o'clock live stream for an hour. And I'm told, limited to an hour. Well, I do limit to an hour. When it's about an hour, maybe an hour, 1, 2, 3 minutes, and it's over. I don't have to be told that, yes, I'm long-winded. I know I'm long-winded. And oftentimes I don't have that much to say. I say the same stuff over again, over and over. Um, what is the topics for the day? Well, as I said, I talked about Taco Talk News, which I'll do periodically, and talking about the need to have bottled water and food. Um, Yesterday, we went and filled up 15-gallon jugs with water to replenish some we've been drinking. We still need to probably fill up another 15 or so. And got to have lots of quarters for that. And then went and bought 12 cases of bottled water, 24 packs. They're going for $3.48 right now over at Walmart. If you buy a new gallon jug of water, drinking water, it's $1.15. It's a lot cheaper to just refill it. If you have propane bottles, 20-pound bottles, I would make sure they're all full. It's a good idea to have more than one. If you have like a propane grill or you use a propane heater or different propane, you know, appliances that run on propane, it's a good idea to make sure you're full. You've got what you need. Medication. Don't wait till you're out of your medication. Go get refills. A lot of people are sick right now. My daughter has the flu. I haven't been near her, so hopefully I don't get it. But my wife has. But she's taking the flu shots, so uh, just think about things that need to be done, and what's your situation? Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Do you have money in reserve to pay bills? If you didn't receive any more pay for a period of 2 or 3 months, can you pay your bills? You should be saving perhaps 15% if you can. That's $150 in every thousand. Saving it. When you receive your pay, the first thing you do is you pay your bills. Everything needs to be broken down as what do you owe, how much do you have to put out in a month, and you set that aside first. Set aside food money, and then you can shop for your preps. Hillbilly Josh, hello, Hillbilly Josh. Welcome. Another good channel, Hillbilly Josh. Yes, coffee needs water. I went today and bought a new 5-gallon kerosene can and filled it for my mom to have just in case. We're getting ready to have a couple of weeks of bitter cold. Kerosene, $6 a gallon here. Well, I'm glad you're off. That's good. Did everybody make a New Year's resolution? Did you eat your black-eyed peas for luck? My wife didn't grow up with that tradition, eating black-eyed peas. She didn't. She vaguely, it's a big deal where I come from. Black-eyed peas, cornbread. She makes really good cornbread. Good cook. She made me some real nice caldo. That'd be one of the shorts if you want to look at it. She made a real nice chicken soup with lots of vegetables, cut up vegetables. Made them in a big stew pot. 9 in the house, 11 likes. Please, if you'd like to support the channel. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well too. Are you staying hydrated? I'm drinking water. I did not have a soda today. So people talk about me and my Diet Cokes. I go for a long time without having a Diet Coke, and then I might have a Diet Coke 2-3 days in a row. Did not have a Diet Coke today. Enjoyed my coffee. May have another cup. My sleeping patterns are off a little bit. My aide sent me a text of things that we need for the room, so I went and bought them today. We needed some Pop-Tarts. We give the kids treats, some hot, spicy chips. Bought a box of that, some Pop-Tarts, coffee pods. Got little creamers. Things that we need for when we go back to work. Yeah, my sleeping patterns. I slept a lot today. I can easily lay down and go to sleep on a couch. It's, part of getting older. So, I'm up to 1803 now. I'm back past 18. I went down to 1795. I thought, oh, God darn it, what the world's going on, with this YouTube. And I'm back up to 1803, so I'm on the move to 1900. I was at 1831 a little less than 2 weeks ago. But something happened. I grew up with the tradition of black-eyed peas, pork, greens, or cabbage, and cornbread. I don't like peas, so I had pinto, bacon, coleslaw, and cornbread. Yep. I have nothing against black-eyed peas. They're good if they're prepared properly. Put some bacon in it or some pork in it for flavoring, and they're good with cornbread. Butter beans, what they call lima beans, pinto beans. Beans are good for you. They're a good source of protein. Long grain white rice, staple of the Japanese, who they all live to be close to 100. It's like they eat tons of white rice. It's got to be good for something or other. Too much starch. Oh, please. I like brown rice, but it doesn't store long. You get freeze-dried brown rice, it's good for about 5 years. I like freeze-dried white rice, it's good for 30 years or more. 11 degrees Fahrenheit here. Wearing more clothes, kind of hungry. Today. Yeah. I try to eat a lot of salads. I did not have one today. I didn't eat a lot today. I had breakfast taco and, coffee and took my medication and dagnabbit, didn't eat lunch. And I haven't had supper. I did eat some Fritos. I had a bag of Fritos I was munching on, and drinking water with it. Trying to drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. So, I will tell you, if something were to happen, how many people do you think are prepared for it? And what do you think is going to happen when those people who are not prepared don't have access to water and their 6-pack of soda runs out and the refrigerator is not working, so their milk goes sour, and they have a little bit of finger food and they run out of that? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think they're going to do? Where do you think they're going to go? And are you prepared for that? Oh, my wife's complaining. She was looking at briskets. $80 for a brisket. She was complaining about that. $80 for a brisket. She was looking at getting a brisket. I told her, I said, you don't go to Walmart for meat. You don't go to Walmart for meat. You either go to a specialty place or you go to like Aldi. Aldi has better meat than Walmart. HEB has better meat than Walmart. They cut their own meat. You don't go to Walmart for meat. Good evening, Mike. That was a nice video you did. Congratulations to Jeremy, I believe it was. I hope he contacts you. I was looking at a video. Somebody was showing some pantry space that they have, and they had the number 10 cans up top. Well, I'm the same way. My pantry areas, the freeze dried stuff is up at top. It's set aside. It's not being used. It's just stored there. So I'll just put it up top. The wife is short, so she's going to have to use a ladder to get to it anyway. I'm the one that can reach it. But and then I have pails like oats and white rice. I've got the Agassiz Farms, and then I've got the do-it-yourself. And then, pinto beans and various, got tons of freeze-dried milk, chocolate milk, Orange Delight, coffee, stuff that you can't do without. And then all sorts of other stuff, that you would need to have: butter and peanut butter and cheese powder and all this sort of, supplements, and then all the meal stuff. But we would use, in an emergency, we'd use the stuff that's like off the shelf first. We'd use all of our canned goods. We'd use all of our we'd go through the MREs and various things and the components and all that sort of stuff before we get to the long-term shelf life freeze dried. We'd supplement with some of that, because I'm heavily into certain things that I just buy, and stuff that you would be using on a regular basis. You'd use more of it. So, I buy more of that, and that's that way you have to do it. You start looking at it and you start thinking, well, this is what I need for a week. This is what I need for a month. This is what I need, per person. And you start taking into account and you start buying. I'm sure they're still good. If you're not storing them out in your garage in the heat, in the summer heat, I wouldn't want to be doing that. I don't store food items in the garage. Got lots of other stuff stored, but I don't have food items stored in the garage. We do have a spare refrigerator in the garage, and we do have a freezer in the garage, but that's the only place in the garage where we've got any food items, stored. Yeah, it's a good idea. Good idea. So, if they talk about a disruption to the grid, one of the things you have to understand, the way things are right now, you can pick up your cell phone and you can call anywhere. You call overseas, it costs you more money, but you can call anywhere. Continental 48 states, no problem. Now, if there is an issue with the grid, like let's say the cell towers don't have power, you're not calling anybody, not with a cell phone. Um, Elon Musk, Starlink, they're starting to do communications with phone transmissions. So if you had a Starlink unit, and it's sort of like Wi-Fi, like using internet Wi-Fi wireless. If you're within range of that unit, which is in communications with a satellite, if you've got power for that unit, then you don't have to worry about a cell phone tower because it's not using a tower. It's basically just connecting with the overhead satellites that are 100 and a couple of 100 miles up in the atmosphere. And that's looking like the future. To me, that's looking like the future. Try to stick with single ingredients things too. I stock a lot of canned soups and stews, though. Yes, yes. And they're relatively inexpensive. I buy cases of beans and soups and different, you know. Yeah, I buy cases. I buy cases. I got a bunch out in the kitchen, cases stored that I haven't accessed. They're just stored there, and and they'll be good for several years. You're gonna have to use them, but they'll be good for several years. Like I bought a case of refried beans. The beans and such that you can use to make tacos, and you can good stuff. You want to make some nachos or whatever. It's always good to have beans. It's always good to have cheese, queso. To mix it up and use it. I eat a lot of ramen, noodles. Uncle Al, I keep quoting Uncle Al. Uncle Al says, "You eat like a college student," and then I'll add stuff to it. Like I like to put jalapenos in it, and you got fresh jalapenos, you've got canned jalapenos, and I buy a lot of this canned stuff, and it takes some of the heat out of it, but it still has a good flavor. I use a lot of sauces, and a lot of times I'm cheap. I get the sauce that comes with it, like green sauce. That go buy tacos, even green sauce, and I'm not using Cholula, and I'm not using my Tabasco jalapeno sauce. I'm using the stuff that they have, and it's pretty good. It's not too spicy, but it's pretty good. I was watching an episode of Landman. That's a series, that's sort of like is gonna basically Yellowstone's coming to an end, so Landman, season one's got to, and they put out these, they create these series, and then a season's like 10 episodes. You know, used to be a season was like 50 episodes, and then they dropped it down to 20 something, and then it's 13, and now they did like still some 13, but it's usually 10. 10 episodes is a season. And I was watching this, and they were two white, father and son. They were sitting down to a table with this young lady, and she'd made some food and all, and they tasted it. Also, they're just wheezing and coughing and everything, and like just give me something to drink, give me something to drink. It's like, oh God, the gringos, and that's the way most people are, and most Mexicans are like that. When it comes to spice, they can't handle it. I enjoy spice. I really enjoy spice, And you know, the hottest jalapeno I ever had just directly out of the garden, because I grow jalapenos. Hadn't recently, but I'd grow jalapenos. You know, just biting into it. The hottest jalapeno I've ever had came out of my uncle's garden in Tucker, which is a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. I was back there visiting, and this is like 20 years ago. And I've been in that thing, and then it made my nose run. Now that was a good jalapeno, and he had some habaneros, you know, growing right there. Might have been some crossbreeding or whatever. Hottest jalapeno I'd ever had. Now that was back 20, probably 20 years ago. And one of my memories, I'm reminiscing again. That's one of my memories. You know, this stuff pops up and I just think about it. You know, there are people who would probably just, if you could ever like buy access to somebody's memories, people would love to have access to my memories from back in the day. You know, and I used to travel a lot more. I did a lot more. Um, I spent a lot more money than I do right now. Um, just my life when I was, you know, younger, and I live a lot in the past, just thinking about it. You know, reminiscing about things and things that I did, things that I didn't do, things I could have done, choices that I've made, other choices I should have made. You know, just you think about stuff like that. I think about the past, and does that mean I have Alzheimer's or I'm dementia or any of that bullshit? Excuse my language. No, I have my faculties. You know. Hello, Melinda Elliott. How are you doing, Melinda? I enjoyed your unboxing, Melinda. Um, I was going to tell you, as far as for arthritis, I take a prescription medication called meloxicam, and it really has knocked out my arthritis. I've been taking it for several years, and before I started taking it, and the doctor prescribed it for me, and I started taking it. Um, my arthritis would move around. I'd have it in one area for a period of a week or two, and then it'd move someplace else. It would it moved around on me. Thank God I didn't have it everywhere where it was, or it probably killed me. But it took care of it. So meloxicam, look that one up. It is an anti-inflammatory, and it is sort of like a stronger version of Advil. Matter of fact, they say if you take meloxicam, don't take Advil. If you need something for more pain, take like Tylenol or take aspirin or something. But don't take meloxicam, and then also take Advil, like Motrin. Take Motrin. You know. Those things will raise your blood pressure and your blood sugar. If you can't get anywhere in an emergency, it's not the time to have a medical crisis. I would have to hibernate. We're going to have highs in the 30s next week, and that makes me want to cry. LOL. Yeah, when it gets cold, arthritis bothers you. I understand that. I understand that. 11 in the house, 15 likes. So, again, um, bottled water, very important. If the spigot turns off, you need to have supply of bottled water. Uh, Went and bought 24 packs of bottled water, 12 of them, which basically is replenishing some we'd used. Need to go buy more. Um, yeah. And $3.48 for a 24 pack. 24 pack is like right at 26 pounds. Right at 26 pounds. I used to buy the 40 packs, but I don't like the weight. Not good for my knees. Having food on hand, canned food. You know, you can always have Vienna sausages, pottage meat, oatmeal, ramen, stuff that you can just pop the top, crackers. Crackers are inexpensive. You get a box of crackers for less than $2. Um, I buy lots of like microwavable or heatable. You just put it in a pot of water, like chilies. I buy a lot of 3-bean chilies and brown beans and various things. Paid like $2.50 a pop for them. Or Hormel completes. You pay less than $2.50 for an 8 ounce. It's like a retort pouch. You can nuke it, microwave, or you can put it in hot water to heat it. Doesn't they'll last 2-3 years. They'll be good for 2 or 3 years if you don't use them. Check your expiration dates. And I've been trying to finish off. I had bought a couple of gourmet pies. Got the pecan pie finished off, and need to finish the. Got like one slice of the pumpkin left. Be gone. I don't do that often, but I try to, if I can, every day I try to eat a salad. I didn't eat one today. Didn't go out to go get one today. I usually go get like 2 days worth, and they'll prepare a salad that's good for 3 or 4 days. And I try to get them when they're fresh. And eat one today. I'll eat one tomorrow. I'll bring one to the wife. Sort of have to force her to eat salad. She doesn't. She'll eat them, but she doesn't like them the way I do. Yeah, meatloaf is good. I love meatloaf. Really good. Somebody made a comment. Yeah, occasionally it gets cooler in Florida. Occasionally. Got to watch out for those big snakes, though. Those pythons are spreading around, and they're heading into colder territories, and they're eating everything they can get their mouths around. They're eating the gators, as far as that goes. That's how big they are, and they're starting to find them close to 20 feet. It's a huge snake, 20-foot snake. Those rock pythons from India that are just just out of control. Why I would not want to be in Florida. Walter Davis, hello, Walter. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for coming. I bet you it's cold where you're at, Walter. You're getting ready. You're getting ready to be hit by it. It's like, they talk about these snakes. There's something about their meat. It's like, no, it's not good eating. Like a python's not like a rattlesnake where they say it tastes like chicken. That stuff is, no, you really won't want to eat it. From what I understand. Nasty. Nasty creatures. And they find the remains of snakes back in the days, millions of years ago. Can you imagine a 45-foot snake? Something weighs a couple of tons. Or these 35, 40-foot monster alligators. Can you imagine stuff like that? Scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Apparently, back a long time ago, the oxygen levels were higher, and therefore, with the oxygen levels having been higher, things could get bigger. Things got bigger. And they talk about, well, they're learning stuff. They're learning stuff, and they're analyzing. They're analyzing stuff, and they're learning more. And the idea, like the cycles, like they talk about global warming. This, and we're actually approaching ice age. Instead of another ice age. And don't worry about global warming; it's going to get nice and cold. You know, and then as you start building up um, ice, like you're building up ice in South America. Antarctica is building up ice, and then the Arctic ice is melting. So you're getting, as you have ice melting in the Arctic, it's building up in the Antarctic, reportedly. And everybody's scrambling. The poles are moving. The North Pole is moving towards Russia, moving towards Siberia. The South Pole is, I believe, moving towards Chile. You know, like the pole shift. And then they say the magnetic shield that protects us is weakening. And then you got the solar cycles. You got a solar minimum, you got a solar maximum, and you rotate every, you know, cycle. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, taxes. I was listening to a show and they were talking about, $4 or more gas out in California, and it says it'll always be higher out there because they put like massive taxes on the gas. You know, they're putting massive taxes there. There's a reason why so many companies are leaving, and they're taking $150,000 a year job, thousands of $150,000 a year jobs with them. Like they talk about the number of millionaires that live in Los Angeles, and the number of millionaires that live in San Francisco, and the number of millionaires that live in New York, and all this crap, about just you know all the millionaires. And uh, if I was filthy rich, would I want to live in one of those places? Hell no. You know, I'd want to be out in the country in a compound where I've got everything. I've got my multiple water wells and pumps and solar and battery banks, and not nice to be on the grid, but also be off the grid. Nice secure fences. You know, having all that sort of stuff. Being stocked, having your own shelter underground. That's the way to do it, and not being near a big target. You want to be 100 miles away from a target. Yes, please watch the replay. Leave a nice like. I would appreciate it. It'd be greatly appreciated. 11 in the house, 16 likes. I don't know. I hate snakes. It doesn't matter. I hate snakes. I remember my father always wore a Colt revolver when he was out and about. Uh, Multiple times I saw him pull his Colt out and shoot a rattlesnake. Damn thing, you pop it in the head and the thing's still moving. The body still moves after you shot it. It's gonna die. It's dead, brain dead. It's still moving. He used to collect rattles. I've got a big bottle of rattlesnake rattles. He used to collect those things. He'd cut them off. But you know, my memories as far as talking about the past, you'd get a lot more custom, footwear.
custom belts. You'd go to shops and made hats, and you'd get custom made hats, headwear, his cowboy hats that he'd wear. You know, the belts, the tooling, the leather tooling they do, the custom boots that he'd wear. Shoes and such. Going to a tailor to have your clothes tailored. Um, Having the money to do that. Just thinking about stuff like that. Down south of here, Refugio, um, Woodsboro, there were shops back in the days. And I don't know if they still exist. Cuero, you had places you could go where they basically made stuff by hand, customed. You know, my father had a custom made saddle, horse saddle. He had got a bought it from a prisoner that made it for the rodeo up in Huntsville Prison Rodeo. He had contracted with him to make him a saddle. Beautiful saddle. Wish I still had it. But those are the things I remember. Going to rodeos, livestock shows, and trail rides. Good old days, barbecues back in the day. And those days are largely gone, and for so many people. They still exist, but not to the extent that they used to. And not as many people participate in them. It's 2025 now, that's right. January the 2nd. And I will plan on doing a live stream tomorrow, Friday evening, 7 p.m. I'm getting these in right now. I'm trying to get a little bit back up because this next week I go back to work and I'm not going to be doing a live stream every evening. I'll try to do a community wall post to let you know whether if I'm not going to do a live stream, I'll let you know. I'll do a community wall post. Hopefully you've got the bell icon, indicated, clicked, so you'll get those notifications. They're brief notifications. I just let you know what's going on in, David Lynn's world. Hope you liked. Thank you, Kalau. I hope you liked my Taco Talk news. It's not something I'll do every day, but I'm going to try to do one or two a week. It'll be like a less than 5-minute take on the news, on my take on the news. And I'm not saying anything, it's patently wrong. I'm basically just giving my take on what the news says, that stuff that I feel warranted to talk about. And everybody treat people the way you want to be treated. And I hopefully will be back tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you for coming, and God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.